Robot Revolution and Industrial IoT Initiative, and your company's effort in line with RRI. Thank you.
Very good question. On the next slide, this is what to say, manufacturing industry also should be changed, anything as soon as possible. That's why each country is established some rule, like manufacturing initiative is one. For sure, as you know, Industry 4.0, IIC is a quite famous one since 2011, also 2012. Also in China, they can do. Also in Japan, we have RRI calling. But it was since 2016, meaning takes a long time. In this year, RRI will be changed a lot, something like a rule, especially as we are calling the new normal recently, COVID-19 issue. So I cannot say to them what it is because they are going to change recently. Just one of the comment, quite similar concept in Mitsubishi Electric we have. We are calling the e-factory. This is like a concept, like an IoT solution. What to say? We are, for example, 2003, we have a lot of already experience, long time. Customer need what to say, connected everything equipment long time ago. We are provide an e-factory solution, especially we use the TOC by IoT at 2003. I mean, quite similar concept in the 4.0, something like that. Then, create some possibility by IoT and AI recently. Adjust the robot. This is the current situation, I would say.
Okay, thank you so much. So, Dr. Doris, are there any government policy that you're benchmarking or a specific initiative, any you have related to these policies?
Yeah, so not exactly in terms of the governance policy in exact, but we try to follow the industrial standard as one of the entity. So for our process industry, we have been accelerated because of digital solution to look more into what we can do to stay compliant in safety measure. So like for those hazardous area, in example like a showroom one kind of application itself, all your technology supply must be explosion proof. This is one criteria. And of course, secondly, with the accelerator of digital solution, cybersecurity become one of the utmost challenge for us. Implementing the technologies is easy, but having the hackers to prevent them from coming in is also another challenge. So to blend in the governance, to tie in, to make sure that we comply. For example, we follow very strictly like IEC 62443, kind of process automation control, kind of compliance. So whatever technology we build in, we have to embed into this kind of governance prior to the applications.
Thank you so much. National policy to industrial standard. So the same question to Tozaki-san, please.
Yeah, so same. I think basically it's not strong policy, but actually the direction itself, let's say Malaysia is pretty clear for me. So like MAJECA, InvestKL, what they want is to create high value version. So with Transcosmos also actually following that way. Let's say our providing an operation service which is provided by people. But of course this is I can say not high. It's been salaries are low. But how we change from the low end to high end, this is one of the points for us. Okay. So let's say just example, so we invested in Garuda Robotics, which is a US company. So this tool is actually more like analysis tool, like to automate it, like modeling area. So using this, actually we are very struggling to hire data scientists because of the alpha, as you mentioned. So that it's difficult to find. That's the reason we invested in the company. So those two automated modeling part, we just see the result. Then, but we are doing operation. With that kind of information, we have to do some strategical part. Then, totally speaking, this job, value is high. That we are doing.
Thank you so much. I was just wondering that after this, that I'm going to move on to the question related with the COVID-19, the post-pandemic thing. So if you have anything related with this topic, so government policy, strategy, visions, or the industrial standard, the gentleman's comments now, if we want to go deeper, any question, I think before we move on to the COVID-19 things, I just want to get some of the questions if you have. Okay. Good. I actually got the couple of it, but I'm trying to keep it to be a moderate difference. Okay, for the COVID-19, definitely it's a huge impact for everyone. Maybe not just for the following order, anyone please raise your hand and tell us about the changes in the market environment that your company has faced. I understand that three gentlemen in totally different industries. So anything related with the COVID, the market changing, and anything issue, I appreciate that you mentioned. Thank you so much.
Maybe I start first. First of all, the COVID situation has really changed the drastic impact for people unable to go to work and working from home. This is one of the biggest challenges because we are operating on a live plant that is running the manufacturing and is also highly hazardous area like oil and gas, petrochemical site. So one of the challenges is getting the people to maintain their responsibility and work action at the site. So what has changed is actually our methodology to work at the site alone by now working remotely. How can we leverage the technology to still maintain and sustain the productions of the manufacturing without attending in person? So that is one of the big challenges I see in COVID-19, which is also help us to accelerate into a use of new technologies like robotics itself for one case. And this is something is used to be like in the movie itself that you can see, but right now you can actually control the robots from your home with a secure line to monitor what is actually happening on the site itself.
I see. Okay, that's great. I thought that it will take a time, but since it is related with my next question, so Dr. Torres, can you continue? I will ask you another question, which, that any technology or the product that would not have been created without this COVID-19, or something would not have been created at this speed, because what you mentioned is your area is something work from home is not applicable, right? So using a robotic to enhance and maybe if the pandemic is not happening, that this process might be slower, or so that's some of the area if you have.
Yeah. So obviously, robots is not new; it has been always there. And but this pandemic actually create the acceleration, how to optimize the usage with the least number of involvement. And what has created is that we tend to build more intelligence into the robots these days so that they can actually think like the human and then more like a supervisory to oversee and let you be the commander and warn you if the equipment is down or the manufacturing is facing abnormality itself. So this is something that we see a drastic change, how to build intelligence into your system. That is a big change that we see in the technology shift in this area.
Okay, thank you so much. So since we touched about the robot, Mr. Sato, the same question that tell us about the changes in the market environment or any of the innovation that faster due to this pandemic thing.
As far as I want to say, COVID-19 issue, it's one of the good opportunity for us because in the manufacturing factory, what they say, we need must be need a social distance with each other. I mean, they need a robot to create some more and more productivity. You know, social distance are not so easy to take a kid sometimes. That's why one of the possibility we are provide industrial robot. Also, next one we are calling collaborative robot, like together, worker, doing something like that. This is our current situation, but collaborative robot need a more easy to use. Also, like think about AI to adjust because not so easy together working usually with a robot, versus a robot if we will have. This is our current situation. Now we are trying to create the intelligence robot with IoT and AI. So yeah, COVID is sometimes not so good, but for us, the robot business really growing recently. It's one of the opportunity.
Okay, thank you. Same question to Todaki-san, but a different industry. Yep.
So actually, it's the same answer. Of course, I mean, work on home was study. Then, because our industry case, there is, let's say, example, we are handling e-commerce platform, we are handling like food panda kind of food services, so we can stop. Right? So before, difference is before COVID and post COVID, it's client agreed work on home. Before couldn't, because security purposes. Our staff you bring laptop to the home, then access to the client system. All the situation we can see. This situation before client couldn't approve, but COVID situation pushed to us, not me, pushed the client to approve that situation. Then, but of course, client set condition. So let's say, of course, security level have to be same, quality level have to be same, productivity have to be same, something like that. So what we did is actually just initiative with blockchain technology. So all the laptop install that technology, then bring back to the home. Then all the information is hashed to the cloud, put out to the one dashboard. We can see from the remotely what is going on, what is the situation, some of the issue was happening, all the situation we can track from the remotely. Then quality-wise, the dimension of transcript is automated to the text to summarize. We can see that how our staff is going well. We can see that we are doing at this moment.
Thank you so much. Just out of curiosity, that perhaps outside of this room, if we talk about the COVID-19 and the pandemic thing, everyone said, "Oh, it's so terrible. Everything is so bad that the economy is slowing down." But it sounds like from the gentleman that it wasn't too bad, probably from especially the AI and the robotic point of view. So I just want to ask a kind of straightforward question. Whereas in general, obviously, the COVID-19 is not a positive thing for the society around the world, but particularly for your industry. Can you say, was it good or bad? Or it's not to define COVID as a good, but the COVID time work as a good to your company, or it was maybe the pro and con. If you have something that you can share with the audience, can you? So this is not pretty question.
Not prepared.
It just come to my mind all of a sudden. So if it is hard to say, then it is okay. But Ozaki-san, maybe nod your head. So
Yes, of course, as you mentioned, good and bad both. So, one thing very simple is the cost. Because as I mentioned, our business is a provided operation. So all the people is working at home. It means we rent many space. But after the COVID, all the people go back to the home. But we still have to pay the rent fee. So this is actually cost point of view that is an impact to us. But good point is, as I mentioned, regulation a little bit changed. I mean, not our end, like client side, is changed. Because if they are full work from home, actually, so I mean, for maybe hiring, have a restriction based on the location. So if we are here, I can hire this person, but the other side, I can find hire from Japan. But now I'm in situation that if client agree work from home, we can hire anywhere. So no need to think about the restriction for location. So it means like more we get some flexibility to hire. Good and bad both. Have to pay, but easy to find.
Thank you so much. I think that is something related with the nomad visa that Malaysian government is also applying for. That's so that we can reach the talent, it's no boundary. That could be okay. Anything from Dr. Doris or something? Thank you.
Yeah. So I think quite similarly for the pros itself, cost saving, yes, that's one thing. We don't have much more aggressive traveling. So that is, of course, the travel cost is down. What other things that I can see is that the advantages is that we tend to have even more timing to train our staff. So we actually introduce much more training costs during that period when we work from home and encourage the staff to upgrade their skill during that span of time during the COVID situation. So this actually improvises and get us ready now for post-COVID situation right now. Of course, the disadvantage is not really to company but to individual. It becoming more stress to the employee because there is too many courses available for them to train and to upskill. Because of this situation, we see there's a change on adaptability, how to manage your time. So I think this is one negative area that many of the staff start to have more communication globally, which means that it's not about fixed timing. You can actually be active anytime, anywhere, especially in the Teams remote, you can connect to US, Europe at any different timing. So this is actually the negative side I see, is impact, but somehow we have to manage the mental health for the employee side.
You gotta work with the different time zone.
Yes.
Sato-san, please. Thank you.
Again, for us, it's not like negative, especially in robot industry, because not only COVID issue. For example, in Japan, especially in the factory, number of degree of the people, changing the working style form. Because many people when you think about a lot of the things into the diversity, they will change anything. I mean, I'm doing the motion of the robot. It's a really good opportunity. We can provide a lot of the possibility with a robot and IoT and AI. Also IoT and AI. For sure, the COVID sometimes negative. For us, everything went to change that negative to the positive. That station.
Thank you so much. Very optimistic comment. I think he mentioned about he's looking for the potential partner, the business partner. So I just want to touch a little bit of the international collaboration. So if you have what kind of the partnership are you looking for, or what could be the key? It's not an easy for the collaboration. So what could be the key success, or what is anything related with the international collaboration? Can you?
This is not related to
No.
AI, but so the best point, because we are a Japanese company, but the potential partner is of course sometimes not Japanese company. Right? So the first of all, so I mean, we have to be understand each other first. So what do you want? What do we need? If this point is not be aligned, difficult to collaborate with money. So then the other side is of course my culture is different. So their angle is my angle, of course different. But if this is just say about that, it's difficult to conclude. So my point is so to collaborate with them basically, it's, I mean, what do we want to make together? So have to be focused on that point first. Then how we evaluate that with evaluation. So if cannot agree that point, difficult to proceed. That's what I think.
Thank you so much. Any comment on international collaboration?
I think it brought us closer. Sorry. I think this COVID situation brought us closer into collaboration. I didn't have a chance usually like talking to US or Europe itself at a different time frame. That is for once in the office hour, but during the COVID time, even we can have spend some time online through Zoom, real time. We can chat, we can play game, we can even drink together as more of a casual talking itself. So this work style has changed quite drastically. It's more relating to creating relationship. It's not really requiring physical meeting up with the individual itself. So I think this kind of collaboration tends to bring us closer to understand the different culture, which is rightfully said. Yeah.
Okay, we have already like a global company. Lots of possibility collaborative with our colleagues in the world, especially technical point of view. In US, for example, on India, they are doing as well, especially software technology. We have lots of collaboration in the past also in the future. Another hand in Japan, what they say, especially robot technology, also AI, we are doing not like what to say, software. I want to say most important point, how to make a collaborative in like what is the unique technology of the whole. Each country have different, as you say, culture, based on the culture. We can doing especially AI in Japan, but especially software is much more better than the country, as I said, like a start of the country in US. Then, they have lots of small company, like a startup. We can discuss a lot of the people what they say, like any possibility, how to say, growing in the future. Again, COVID-19 is not negative, I would say, because we can discuss anytime online. In the past, it was not so easy because in the company, we have such kind of equipment possibilities of there, but outside small company also, they doesn't have. But now we can discuss directly on online. Possible to take any information in the world. I'd say it's a positive information.
Okay, thank you so much. So now, to the speakers and panelists, the last question is all about opportunity and challenges. It's kind of a wrap up the question too. And after that, we will move on, following the program, we will move on to the Q&A session. So really appreciate that the interactive communication. So I maybe if you have some of the 1 question, 2 questions, and 3 questions, if you will, please get ready for that. So to the speakers, my question is, yes, it's, if I take a look at I just came back from Singapore, and in Singapore, most of the people not wearing a mask, but 2 weeks back I was in Japan, I think 99% of the people were still wearing a mask, so even after the COVID-19, I mean the pandemic, post-pandemic thing, that due to the geographic and maybe due to the industry, depending on the industry, the scenery is completely different. But maybe for your industry, post-pandemic, I think I can say that now it's era the post-pandemic, so your challenges and opportunities I would like to get from you. Dr. Torres, can we go first?
I think the post-pandemic itself, what we see is the work style request change from most of the site itself, from areas that they regularly do it at home. In fact, right now they are asking how I can still operate better by not working at home. So some of them is actually demanding Friday must be off. This is one thing. So how do I make sure my work process is continuous in this way? So the changes is creating the expectation for us to getting something more developed in terms of using newer kind of application. For example, analytics, data analytics itself, we tend to zoom into doing more data mining to understand through AI itself, extracting this kind of anomaly, giving preempt warning so that the individual have ease of work itself. So we have started to see in all factors, even in office, by the email change, we can actually detect whether the corresponding or the activities being done by the staff, how alert is on certain time of the day, then how this area can be fully utilizing things like robots to automate the process at ease. So this is something that we see a change at this post-pandemic time, and then also the staff is eager to look into newer kind of learning, new areas of learning. For example, now most of our client is pushing for 5G, because what you have in 4G, you tend to look at several screens, but now they want to see video screen, much and impressive or multiple kind of media itself. So this is also pushing to another level in technology itself.
So obviously, if the COVID-19 is really the driving force to push the changes, developing the changes. But on the other hand, after the COVID, in some industry, it's kind of like a swing back. Some people say that work from home, but some of the company is not forced, but they ask staff to be back to the office. So your industry in particular, that these changes of the innovation are backed by the COVID-19, not backed by this was still ongoing, or it's a kind of like swing back, the power will be there?
I think for our company especially, is more of flexibility right now for you to choose, and you can decide. You can decide what are the options which best benefits you, because at the end of the day, we are not looking at the presence of the individual, but the task to accomplish. A particular task is being assigned. So I think that is the main core that we are looking at. Although Singapore is encouraging like a 70-80% to be back, but our office is still running at less than 50% at this present stage, and it's still doing well. And what we see is actually it supports the staff to be less stressful in certain time, but we still meet deadline and to comply. And by 24/7, we still addressing the customer's pain point immediately. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Sato-san, challenge and opportunities.
Challenge and opportunity only I invitation to you. Something like a combination, because it's a local business. We are not so far recently. Additionally, just I want to say, comment. So I'm gonna say, if you want to use with a robot, with an IoT, also AI. Some of the colleagues think about that not so easy sometimes. But just what said, we can provide some possibility, intelligent robot, we are especially AI, going to say small, like a compact AI, more easier. I would say anyone can use a robot, also IoT and AI, usually by yourself, to create your new good life. This is just my message to everyone. Because I'm trying to do the great robot, also AI IoT, to provide the customer actually.
Okay, thank you.
But for challenge, so as you also mentioned, so it's difficult to fix the standard. That's I'm feeling. Let's say, like as I mentioned, we are doing front-end service, contact center, ECDM, but ECDM industry. Actually, so work from home is very common already. But for the contact center industry, depend on the client. So let's say US company will work from home, but take a Chinese company doesn't want to work from home, Japanese company, whichever, is really difficult. So now, so as a company point of view, it's difficult to fix the standard. So yes, so I mean, under the COVID, we get over some of the challenges with AI, robotics, we get over, but now, as a company point of view, it's difficult to fix what's going on, what we have to decide. So this is the challenge. But opportunity-wise, it's compared to the previously, I mean, before COVID. So I see data more. Maybe I think during COVID, maybe many things already digitalized, then visualized. So compared to before, I think easy to decide because I mean based on the data. So this situation was good for the, I mean, overall future opportunity purpose because all already changed the data. So see the data, what we have to decide is more easier than before.
Thank you so much. Particularly the data point is interesting. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for any of the questions to three speakers or the individual speakers? Who is brave enough to be a top person?
Any questions?
May I have your name and the question?
Hi, my name is Adrian. Good morning, gentlemen. Thank you for a great session. Maybe my question out to Dr. Darius. Because you are in automation and it's a little bit easier to automate the processes because being automation. My question is, given COVID and what happened, what is the ratio between having robots replace the task force, and what kind of savings are you looking at in terms of percentage from automating the process? So basically the question is how much savings versus how much you spend. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, because we are mainly on the process industry, especially for refining oil and gas itself, the acceptance of robots is not as big. The ratio will also be significantly small at this stage. The reason is that the adaptability of people going to site itself, for example, offshore, is quite difficult in times. So in COVID, of course, they try to accelerate right now. So I would say right now, much of the major company, including Petronas, is spearheading that offshore become fully unmanned. So that ratio will come drastically. For in some major account is like Shell BP, 2025 fully unmanned. So the ratio is going to be appearing on site. besides just robot itself, I think the important thing is how we build the intelligence onto our control system. So this is where we started to embed even more intelligence into the system, ability to adapt and change and control. So that is something we see significantly change, and the next few years will be even more introducing on AI and not only onto the robot itself, but also on imaging, on the data analytics part. I hope I answered your question.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Doris. Any question?
Follow up to that.
Oh, great.
And
On the manufacturing level,
Yes.
In terms of smart manufacturing, you mentioned that your task force has actually worked from home and reduced work hours because of task accomplished by 50%.
Yes.
So in terms of cost and expenditure, I assume that you've automated a lot of stuff in the manufacturing process as well.
Yeah.
So that savings, you have like a ratio in terms of less humans in the factory, more robots in the factory, and in terms of expenditure on that level in the manufacturing process.
I think we did a survey back in 2021 on the situation of COVID and how we measure in the companies. Almost 600 companies have participated in this survey. So during this time, we feel that what we see is a saving can be up to 30% around this figure itself because of the less utilization on some repeatability portion, which is fully automated, and even to the extent on some manufacturing site, you don't even need to have lights on completely in the dark room, but the robots automate the whole process for you. So this is exactly what we see in for example, the Nissin plant in the Maggi noodle packaging. You can see the manufacturing floor, actually there is no man on the floor, and there's only 2 guys in the control room looking into the whole manufacturing chain. So this is a reality. That's what we see at this moment. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Doris. Any question?
Hello, my name is Dee. My question is to Zaki-san. So you're making video, right? What I've observed is that in North America and Europe, the trend nowadays, they are tending to choose like India and other South Indian countries that's on parts of the video. So I'm wondering, in your opinion, what is the advantage of the talent in Southeast Asia, especially in Malaysia, compared to South Asian countries?
Yeah, so this point, I mean, maybe I InvestKL also mentioned. So location-wise, basically the Malaysia is a hub. So because MDEC has the MSC status, we can issue EP anytime. So that's the reason why we can bring all the country people to here. In Malaysia-wise, can speak English, then of course Chinese, India. So I mean, it's more for us easy to provide much language area. Then if we need some, let's say, what AI technologies are needed, we can select EP for the US people. So I think the point is, I don't say talent, but point is as a location, as a policy-wise, to Malaysia, very easy to manage across the country, especially for the Asian. Answer.
Thank you for that, Sam. Thank you. Any more questions? Perhaps we can pick another 1 or 2. Thank you.
name is Steve. Okay, just now I think three speakers mentioned that the COVID-19 actually created some impact on the way we work together globally. Okay, and then I think working online together is maybe a bit different from working face to face. I think all of you agree on that. And then I think Facebook has actually introduced a solution for these matters, which is called as the Metaverse, where they created a virtual place for people to come and work together using VR. So the question would be like, do you think it is possible to implement Metaverse in actual work field? Yeah, so this question is directed to any of the speakers, three speakers.
Metaverse to be applicable to actual workplace.
Mainly, I try to answer from my understanding and opinion. Regarding Metaverse itself, it's a virtual environment itself. What we see is that for different category of work is possible. At this moment, especially for R&D and joint development kind of skill, we can use this kind of virtual environment to create more reality into speccing our design, innovate discussions, and then also to spearhead on what are the items in reality you can see even to a VR, AR kind of aspect itself. So this is really a good platform where we can see how we can visualize. And that also tie in to accelerate 3D printing in offering on the counterpart on the other side itself, where they can actually model the similar kind of equipment and tools to engineer itself. So I think it's a good platform, but coming back to reality on the actual requesting operator to be at the site, it is still a necessity because of a safety issue, safety occurrence that we really need some kind of physical one until maybe Tesla providing the humanoid that can be at the site directly in the explosion-proof method. I think we can start exploring that again. Yeah, that's my answer.
Great. I guess Sato-san would like to say about this question. All right. Okay. Is it okay? The answer? Okay, cool. One second. Thank you so much. Okay, I think it's going to be the last question. Okay.
Hi, my question is to any of the panel. That it's following up from Dr. Darius. You mentioned that Nestle is the robotics, right, in Nestle's factory. Oh, sorry. Okay. And there is no electric. I mean, you don't need electricity or stuff to light turn off, right? So that's in line with sort of cost saving, energy saving, and it's moving towards ESG and sustainability. So my question is, how are companies innovating in this space or using AI and technology to drive their ESG and sustainability efforts?
So in Yokogawa, we also participated in the areas initiated in Singapore, I call it Green Compass, where we support the client to evaluate the approach on carbon emission. So the idea is to ensure you can calculate your carbon emission as part of decarbonization effort itself. So all this saving, at the end of the day, if you cannot visualize, if I can tell you just switching off your screen, save how much, it doesn't make sense. So we come with a standard itself, based on the statutory report itself, to define the kind of calculation methodology where you can actually define what are the areas you are actually saving. This is quite a hot topic right now on decarbonization because, for example, like Singapore, I think similar for Malaysia, is the carbon tax is coming, and it's coming in a big way. So many companies is actually seeking, like Yokogawa, to support them into identifying the areas of carbon emission. And you have to find a way how how to reduce the carbon emission in such a way. And this is where we start to use AI analytics as one possible solution to calculate based on the vast number of data that we have to optimize the carbon emission. So this is one area. And secondly, for use of robots for decarbonization is already something of an initiative we are working on. In fact, with Mitsubishi, but Mitsubishi Heavy Industry currently as part of the Nippon Foundation in the Deep Star project. So this initiative is to do decarbonization effort by deploying robots at a site so that you have no emission at all. So that is the venture or the challenge that we are facing at this journey at the moment. I hope I answered your question.
Okay, thank you so much. I think it's about time to end this session. Once again, I really appreciate everyone to be here. And most of all, thank you very much for the speaker for your great insight and your knowledge to share with the audience. We really appreciate. I hope this session was really fruitful for everyone. No matter how that we have to move on, so I really hope that this could be for everyone to be a great opportunity to move and create a better world after COVID-19. Thank you so much. Thank you.